Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Ignorance Equation. This is our Wednesday night musical Osmosis show, and I, of course, am your benevolent host, Nick, the Saucy One Catsaurus, humble servant of rock and roll, and I am broadcasting to you, as always, live from the land of meth and honey, Caryville, Tennessee. I do also want to introduce my talented and beautiful producer, the music to my Osmosis, Danielle Prizer. How you doing, sweetheart?
Tonight's show.
Okay, what was that again?
Oh, I thought I was already unmuted. I am super duper excited for tonight's show. I can't wait to get started.
I'm excited too. We just heard a new one from Narcoleptic Youth, which is one of my all-time favorite punk bands. That was the CIA Killed Dick Clark. And would you like to know how excited I am this evening?
Absolutely.
Well, as anybody knows who knows me personally, I don't wear pants after 8 p.m., so it's no big secret when I'm broadcasting. I am usually in my boxers, wearing a tank top, Michelob in one hand, and fish sandwich in the other. But since tonight is such a special occasion, I put on pants.
Oh, my gosh. Are you serious?
Yeah, and I'm wearing my Narcoleptic Youth T-shirt, so I've gone all out. This is a black tie affair for me.
No fair. All I have is a Wonder Woman T-shirt. Come on, really?
Yeah, we're going to have to get you the girl version. You're very out of place right now.
I am.
All right. Well, first, before we have Joey, we're going to have Joey Bondage on, frontman for Narcoleptic Youth. I do want to get my little idiot fanboy stick out of the way, just so I'm not idiot fanboying all over him when I am interviewing him. So let's move on, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of history on why I like the band so much and how I kind of discovered them. First, we're going to have to kind of set the Wayback Machine here back to the fantastical year of 2003. And I know we got a lot of younger listeners out there, so let me kind of set the stage for you. It was a strange and primitive time. It was a time before iPhones, before apps could wipe your ass for you. It was an age before Facebook and Twitter, and it was actually a time right before humans made its most significant evolutionary leap since the opposable thumb and developed a way for us all to like each other's cat pictures on Facebook. So that was quite a while ago. It was also
I don't remember that.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody under 25 would remember that. And it was an age when, when we still made fun of Monica Lewinsky and told O.J. Simpson jokes. A little bit of history, The Fast and Furious was only on its second movie. And those girls from Jersey Shore, they were still giving BJs at their high school underneath the bleacher pep rallies. So quite a while ago. It was also an age of false patriotism and indignant moral outrage, but also an age of innocence before the Catholic Church scandal broke. And we were naive enough to think the only person molesting children at that time was Michael Jackson. So we were definitely more innocent back then. And there was a lot less technology. Anybody out there who's under 25, if you go to your coffee table, pick up your drink, there is a silver round disc underneath your beer. That's called a CD.
No, what is that?
Yeah, that's
what?
a CD. That's how we used to store music. And no, this wasn't like by some ancient voodoo elixir or some kind of archaic form of alchemy. This was actually how we lived before the digital age. Amazing. And back then, we used to have to actually buy these things called CDs. And the way I found out about Narcoleptic Youth is there was a site called Interpunk, and they actually had a little radio station. I had been listening to the same bands for probably 10 years. I was kind of getting bored, although I love like Lagwagon and the Pissed and the Vindictives and all those groups, No Effects. But I wanted to hear something new, and they actually had like a little radio station you can play while you were browsing their site. And they turned me on to some new bands like Manic Hispanic and The Mange. And 86 to Crap from Narcoleptic Youth came on. And I was like, wow, I really dig this sound. And, of course, I ordered the CD right away, the Chronological Disorder CD. And I got it. I listened to it about 50 times in a row. And I really dug the raw, straightforward sound of it. It wasn't pretentious. I remember going and seeing 15. I actually saw him in a church in D.C., which was appropriate because all Jeff Ott did for about an hour was preach. And there was, like, no pretension. I was just straightforward, raw, like pick up your guitar and blow the audience away. And for 10 years, you know, I know it's been a while since they've done that album, but everything I listened to before that, of course, this was before stealing music, everything that I got from them and everything I listened, I really dug. And actually, this is one of my favorite songs by them, probably in my top 10 favorite songs. We're going to have Joey up after this song. This song is Visions of a Gun by Narcoleptic Youth. And after this song, we will be cueing in Joey. All right, here we go. Visions of a Gun by Narcoleptic Youth. Our phone number here is 646-478-3554. If you have any questions for frontman Joey Bondage, or if you're the shy type, go ahead. I've got my Facebook open. You can leave some questions for him on there, and I will be more than glad to ask them. And Joey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you splendidly, my friend, splendidly. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, man. I'm really stoked about this interview. We've got a lot to go through. I know you got a lot of great stories. I did want to start off by kind of asking you a question specifically. Since you guys have been around for so long and the scene has changed so much, is it harder to do just kind of this straightforward, raw punk with how much music has changed? I mean, how's the audience changed? How's your, the reception to this type of music changed? Are you guys still going strong, or are you getting some resistance?
No, it hasn't really changed at all for us because we've always just done our own thing. When we started out, we weren't really doing what was popular within the punk scene anyway, so we don't really pay any attention to that stuff, and I suppose that's why people like us, you know.
Definitely.
We just, I mean, I don't know how much things have changed. There's been ups and downs along the way. The biggest changes we've seen have to do with, I guess, when clubs will close down and stuff in certain cities, they, you know, you start to lose fan bases sometimes because of that, because the punk scene just kind of dies out in those areas. I don't want to say die out, but it doesn't, you know, we had some really big scenes in certain places, and then when the clubs got shut down, you know, you go back there and it's just not as big as it was before, you know.
Right. Is it still, are you bringing in a lot of younger kids, or is your audience mostly the people who followed you for years?
No, it's still, we still bring in a young crowd, but the cool thing now is that we do have the older crowd now also, because when we started, we only had the young kids. And, you know, so those kids have grown up now, and they can drink legally and all that. So they're, you know, they're coming to our bar shows now, and which we couldn't do before. In the past, we could never do a bar show because nobody would come. But now it's like that younger crowd. It's they're able to show up at the 18 and up and 21 and up shows. We prefer not to do bar shows. We like the all ages shows better, but unfortunately, just because of the way things are, a lot of times it's hard to find those all ages shows. A lot of like I said, a lot of those clubs have kind of got shut down. We had for a while. We had a really great ring of shows going between the Showcase in Corona and the Glass House in Pomona and Chain Reaction in Anaheim. And two of those clubs, the Glass House and Chain Reaction, basically kind of stopped doing punk shows. They would do one every now and then, kind of just sporadically throw something out there, but they were having a lot of problems with the crowds that were coming, and we were kind of specifically blamed for some of those problems. Not us,
really,
the fans. You know, yeah, just
not you.
Well, not us. No, actually, the clubs liked us. We were, you know, we're nice boys, but it was the fans that were kind of breaking bottles in the parking lot and that kind of stuff. And
gotcha. Kids will be kids.
Yeah, and they shot themselves in the foot, though, because what happened was, you know, then the other clubs would raise their prices and stuff because they knew that those kids had to go somewhere else to see the show. So it was really foolish, you know, on their part. But, yeah, like you say, it's kids, you know, what are you going to do? I mean,
well, let me ask
you, 10
years ago when I discovered you guys, when I started listening to you, you guys had a lot of material for sale on Interpunk, and I just went on there the other day, and I didn't see too much going on there from any band. It looks like that site's kind of dying. And, of course, MySpace was a huge thing. I wrote you guys a few times, and I really thought it was cool you guys wrote me back, not having any clue. You know, I was a complete stranger to you. But, how much has it changed now that there's really no MySpace, no Interpunk? Facebook's not really band-friendly like MySpace was interactive in those days. Has that been a drag on you guys or made any kind of difference?
Oh, it's funny, like you mentioned Interpunk, like I don't think we ever put anything on there for sale, personally.
Really?
But whatever you got on there, I mean, it was legit. I'm sure it was probably from like our record labels or whatever that, you know, they put stuff on there, which is, you know, that's fine. We just, we've always been kind of bad about that stuff, marketing ourselves that way and everything. We're really just musicians, and we don't know that side very well. But as far as the other stuff goes, like MySpace, gosh, I used to love MySpace because I liked the format that it provided artistically, like on your page layout and stuff. You could have a really cool looking page and put your graphics behind it and everything. I always thought Facebook looked really lame. And God knows why. For whatever reason, I don't know what happened with MySpace, but it's like they tried to copy Facebook as far as making it look generic. And
it was horrible.
And once they did that, the other problem is it just stopped working. I mean, like I couldn't save things. I tried and change something, and there was no save button. So the whole thing got really stupid, and we ended up we totally abandoned our MySpace site. I mean, it's still there. You can still listen to the songs, but I don't really have anything to do with that anymore. We put a thing on there that says, you know, due to the fact that MySpace just went to hell, you know, we've abandoned this, go to Facebook. Or there's another cool site called punkrockers.com, and that one is more in the format of what Yeah, that's more like what MySpace used to look like as far as like you can build your page and have really cool graphics on there and stuff, which I really dig, you know. So I like that kind of stuff. So I'm on punkrockers.com. If anybody's on there, they can add us on there. And Jason, our guitarist, and I, we run the Facebook for the most part. I don't have a personal thing on Facebook myself, just because when I had a MySpace one, and they just got I felt bad because a lot of people would want to chat or whatever. I just didn't have time, and I don't want them to think I'm like a snobby jerk or whatever. It's just that I didn't have time, you know, because I do have a life.
I mean, that's one vibe. And nobody was getting off you guys, definitely. I mean, you guys are like so down to earth.
Yeah, we do talk to people like it, you know, on Facebook. We'll write back and stuff, and we're you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's just when I had my own personal one, it got to be a little bit too much. But Jason's on there. Jason has his own personal one, and you can see what antics he's up to. And
definitely.
John, our drummer,
you guys
he's
are
got one too.
Also on Last FM too, right?
Yeah, we're on. We've got all that stuff. Last FM and what's the other? Reverb Nation. Yeah, we've got those sites too. But as far as how, you know, you're asking how it's changed since MySpace. Actually, I mean, Facebook has come along pretty good. It kind of sucks because the MySpace thing, we had a lot of, you know, we had a good following going there, and then we had to kind of dump it. So we kind of had to start over with Facebook. But it works to get the message out about what's going on, and I just hate the way it looks.
Not as good.
Yeah, I just hate the way it looks, but other than that, I mean, it's good to get communication out and everything.
Yeah, and everybody jumped ship like in 1 month. Everybody was on MySpace, and I logged in, and there was like friggin' tumbleweeds going across the screen on MySpace.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, where the hell did and I swore I wouldn't get a Facebook. Everybody's like, come on over to Facebook. I'm not getting a Facebook. I'm not getting a Facebook. They drag me over there, and then I start writing people, and they're like, no, you don't write people here. You like each other's cat pictures. And
oh, no. I did it all. I did Facebook. I did the MySpace. I did Friendster. I did, if you name it, if it was some sort of social network, I probably have a page there. It's pretty sad.
Wow, you were unpopular. You did Friendster. Talking about Jason, he actually posted a comment on my link telling me to ask you about Bakersfield.
About Bakersfield?
That's he said, to ask you about Bakersfield on the show.
I guess I know what this is about. I thought maybe he was asking about a show because I just got a text from him. He might be thinking, hey, can you do this show in Bakersfield or what? Well, he's probably talking about, I would imagine, if you want a good story. Well, Junior probably doesn't want me telling this one, but we were playing in Bakersfield one time, and we were staying at a hotel up there, and in the middle of the night, we heard Jason screaming. There's two beds in there, and I was sleeping in the bed with John, our drummer, and Jason and Junior.
Is it a hotel or a house?
It was a hotel. You know, there's two beds in there, and he said something like, "Get the fuck off me," or something like that. And we found out, I guess Junior was trying to cuddle with him a little bit.
Who was?
Our bass player, Junior. He was trying to spoon him or something.
Oh, God.
It was in the middle of the night.
That story out.
Exactly. No, it doesn't stay in Bakersfield. It goes broadcast all over the world, you know.
Nice.
He was one of those things where you're asleep, you know, and he forgot where he was. So he says. I don't know. Yeah, so he says. We'll see.
Right.
So I was,
all I know is whenever we got a hotel.
Now, go ahead.
Whenever we got a hotel, it's always I'm in the bed with Jason or John. I'm not in Junior sleeping over there.
He's on the cot.
Sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, he's on the cot. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys noticed. I was on YouTube and I saw that somebody leaked a video of you guys doing CIA Kill Dick Clark, like from your band practice place. And it was like sideways, sticking out of, I don't know, like a purse or something. You could only see like half of the screen. Do you guys know anything about that?
Oh, you scared me for a minute when you said. I thought maybe they leaked something else.
Nothing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, actually, I think that was our drummer did that or something. I think John did that.
Gotcha.
He put
Okay,
that
I didn't
out.
know if you guys knew.
Yeah.
I ran across that. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Sideways. You could
It's
barely
like
make it out. And it was like,
some
brand new
secret undercover
song leak,
investigation.
Narcoleptic Youth.
Yeah, I think he was just excited to get it out. You know, the great thing about that song is, like, when we play it live, usually you ask the crowd, do you want to hear a new song, and nobody wants to hear a new song, you know. So that one only takes like 40 seconds of your life away, and you know, they don't. You know, if you don't want to hear a new one, yeah, you know, it works though. It's cool because we had to get that one out right away because it was a very timely song. It's all about the Mayan calendar and you know, Illuminati conspiracy to kill Dick Clark so that Ryan Seacrest could become the Antichrist or whatever. And
hey, I liked it.
Yeah, well,
that's
the
cool.
time was conspiracy.
Thanks. Did
What's
you guys catch the little?
Video?
Hey, did you guys catch the little guitar bit in the middle? Do you know where that's from?
What is that from?
It's the American Bandstand music.
Oh my God.
That's what it was. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That is
I don't know if anyone.
Nobody under 35.
Yeah, the kids won't know it. Yeah, the
Hey,
kids
I'm
won't get
34
that.
and I know what that's from. So there.
Well,
There you go.
were hip as a kid.
Yeah,
If you know what that
yeah.
is at 34.
Yeah.
That was Barry Manilow, if I'm not mistaken, wrote that. They probably own the royalty or something.
What's going on with the video? Is this just something you put on YouTube, or how did this get done, and where has this been distributed? Is this something we can see anywhere besides YouTube, or?
Oh, yeah. Well, the video, well, you can get it on our website, narcolepticyouth.com, but yeah, we just put it on YouTube just because, like I said, it was kind of a timely matter. We wanted to get it out whenever we did, which was like November or December or whatever, you know, right before the world ended on, you know, December 21st or whatever it was.
Right, the Mayan boogeyman was going to get us all.
Yeah, yeah. So we wanted to get it out right, right before that happened. So we made a video. I told the guys, I said, I got this new video editing system, and I said, you know, we'll come over to we filmed it at my house actually, down here in San Diego, and said, you know, come over to my house, and I made a green screen out of just green cloth, and just it was all like duct taped together with green duct tape.
Nice.
And hung it on the side of my house, and we just set up on the side of my house with my PA system and cranked the PA system.
Gotcha. So this was all DIY then.
Oh, totally, yeah. And I did all the editing and everything. And then it's kind of funny. My neighbor said I've got some land because I'm an avocado rancher. So my neighbor, he said, yeah, I heard you got a band or something? I said, oh, well, yeah, that was, you know, that was our PA system. He said, yeah, it sounds like you're playing the same song over and over again. And
nice.
So that's what we were doing. We had to get different takes, you know, different angles and everything. So we had to play the song like 1,000 times. And it was really hot. It was fun, but it was really hot that day. So that was a little uncomfortable. But I thought it came out good. We had fun with it.
Yeah, I really dug the video. I thought the label or somebody else was responsible for it. I'm kind of surprised you guys just put it together in your backyard.
Yeah, no, we do a lot of stuff like that. It's from day one. We've been a very DIY band, you know.
That's what punk is, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about with you guys, always being raw and straightforward. I mean, do you think there's still a huge scene out there like that? Or are you guys kind of like a dying breed? Are you guys dinosaurs? I don't see a lot of punk bands even really putting albums out anymore. Not the ones that I grew up with, at least.
Yeah, actually, well, no, there are a lot of good bands out there in the underground. You know, there's bands we play with all the time. Slow Children. There's a new band called Tartar Control who are hilarious. It's these two guys that are like they dress like Mormons kind of. They've got a robot that's like a drum machine, and I think it plays bass. So they got a guitar player and a singer, and then the robot plays drums and bass. I'm pretty sure. And it's hilarious. Cool. I mean, and you know, it's like there were back in the day. There were a lot of bands that did really wacky stuff like that. Joe and the Chicken Heads from Orange County. They're still playing. They're called the Radioactive Chicken Heads now, but they all dress like these crazy like carrot. One's a carrot and one's a chicken and all these weird things, you know. But there's a lot
Whatever
of
suit they could find.
There's a lot of kids still doing it though. They're still out there. They're still making music. We play with them all the time. As far as bands making albums, I don't know. I mean, I can only speak for us really. Why it took us forever to get this new album out. I mean, it's still not out yet, but to get it recorded, and that's just because of our own personal issues. It had nothing to do with the scene or whatever, or money or anything like that. It was just our own problems we had that slowed us down. But it's definitely out there. I mean, at least here in California, I can't speak for the rest of the world, but out here we definitely have a scene going.
I mean, I crave to see new punk music, and sometimes I'll get on YouTube and just kind of put punk 2013, or I'll try, and it's always like some kid whining, eating soup or something. I don't understand it. I'm like, this is not a punk. What is going on here? And it's just, like I said, I listen to you guys. I'm like, this is straightforward punk. I like the Vindictives a lot. That was another band I really like snotty, sarcastic music. And it doesn't seem like the kids have the testosterone or the wit about them now. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and primitive or something, but it just doesn't seem like the kids have that same kind of raw sarcasm that was going on 20 years ago with the kids.
It is out there. You do have to search a little bit, though. You need to come out to California and come to some shows. There's a lot of great shows out here.
Well, that's
Speaking
on my
of
bucket
looking
list,
for music, though, if you're looking for new bands, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about was that we've got this. We're on a new compilation. It's off of a website called punkaid.org. And there's 117 bands on this compilation, 117 from around the world. So if you're looking for something new, I'd check that out.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it right now.
Some background on that.
For anybody that's listening, the digital download is only $6. I mean, if you can't afford that, then you need to skip Starbucks tomorrow.
Yeah. Although you want to know the really bad thing is I can't afford it. Yeah. That's let me tell you some of the pence. Yeah. Except if you're like me and you're living off of right now, you're getting your groceries from birthday gift cards to Target, and you got to go to Target to do your grocery shopping, and you can't afford the $6 right now. But I am getting it.
Well, I'm definitely going to check it out. So how did the whole Punkaid thing come about? I know it's a benefit for Boston.
Yeah.
For the bombing benefit, if you can give us some background.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how that happened. The original thing, it was supposed to be for Boston, and this all comes back to a guy named Mike Rothstein, or Mike Virus. He was a singer for the Virus and also Cheap Sex, and he's currently in a band called Evacuate.
I remember those guys.
And he's the mastermind behind the whole thing. I don't want to take any credit for this other than helping to. I'm just trying to help support the cause, but. We just donated a track, but he did all the footwork on this thing, and he got all these bands on here. And originally, he had set out to help out the victims of the Boston bombing thing that happened. But what happened was, in the process of while he was getting it all together, the tornadoes that came through Oklahoma and just devastated that area, that was happening right around the same time. And he had discovered that the Boston people had really been well taken care of by a lot of charity organizations and everything already. They were kind of already set. In fact, I think they stopped taking donations at some point. So he felt it was kind of, it just wasn't really right to be sending more money there when that was taken care of, and the people in Oklahoma were in so desperate need of help. So he kind of put out a little feeler question on his Facebook thing, asking people who were involved, what would you think about changing up the percentage so it's a different split of money and have some of it go to the Oklahoma people. So people kind of overwhelmingly said, yeah, that's a great idea. So he knocked it down to like a 20%, 80% split. So 20% goes to, I'm not exactly sure where it goes. It goes to Boston, but it's, kind of to help the general community of Boston. That 20%, like I think maybe like a small business fund type thing to help them out, just to help the people there. But then the other 80% is going to a charity that is helping the people in Oklahoma. And if you get on the Facebook page on Punk 8, he's posted up, you can rest assured that your money's going to the right place. He's posted up the PayPal receipts and everything. And they've already raised $1,000 in the first week, which is great. So
yeah, that's awesome.
well, hopefully this show will get the word out, and I'm definitely going to pick it up tonight.
Yeah, the goal, I guess, they want to try and reach 10,000. So yeah, anybody out there, if, please get it. It's only $6. There's 117 bands from around the world, and it's got some great bands like the Unseen, the Addicts, the Defects, the Virus, the Briggs, Vice Squad, the Threats, Channel 3,
I didn't even
Total
know
Chaos.
half those bands were still around.
Yeah. His band Evacuate's
Amazing.
on it. The Forgotten, the Scarred. I mean, there's a ton of great bands on there. Of course, in our band, Narcoleptic Youth. And so also there's a lot of bands you haven't heard too. Some really underground stuff. So like I said, if you're looking for new music, this is the place to go. And you can get it it's punkaid.org, punkaid.org, and it's only $6
and that link is
to
also
download.
on the show site. Or
Great,
the show,
yeah,
page, yeah.
And you get, when you download it, you also get there's like album artwork and everything, which I believe Justin from the band The Scarred, I'm pretty sure he had a lot to do with that. There were a lot of people like that volunteering, and helping out. It's a great cause, and it's great to see the punk community come together and, and help these people out. And but like I said, it's all Mike Virus, Mike Rothstein, the singer from Cheap Sex, the Virus, Evacuate. He's the guy that set it all up. So, join him on his Facebook page and send him a little back pat or something too,
And I'm definitely going to do that, and I hope everybody out there listening, I know everybody can go out and steal music these days, but when it comes to something like this, you should really just whip out the credit card, let go of the $6, help out, and pick it up. And I'm going to be posting it all over my Facebook page. Everybody knows what a pain in the ass I can be when I want to get something done. So I'll definitely put that on there.
Thanks for helping.
No, definitely. It's a good cause. I want to help. I want to play another song from you guys. This actually, McAnarchy has one of my favorite all-time punk lyrics, which is, I believe in anarchy, but I also like McDonald's. I actually wrote you guys that like 10 years ago. I was like, oh, my God, this is the best friggin' lyric ever. So we're going to go into this song. I'll give you like a 2-minute break to grab some water or whatever, and we will be right back with Joey Bondage. If you want to call in, 646-478-3554, or, like I said, if you're shy, leave something on the Facebook. I will definitely ask them, no matter how silly. No question is too ridiculous, right, Joey?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here comes some more Narcoleptic Youth. All right, that was McAnarchy. We are on live with Joey Bondage. Let me ask you guys something. I'll ask you via the band. A lot of your older stuff had not a whole lot of political lyrics to it, but you guys did kind of touch on the political. Is there going to be any of that on the new album, or are you guys just kind of staying straightforward, fun punk rock?
Oh, it's funny. I actually just real quick talking about McAnarchy. I actually hate McDonald's, by the way. I just I call it McDog food. I try not to eat there,
Nice.
if possible, but not for any like political reasons or anything like that. But it's just what I was saying in that song is like people who are like they claim that they're anarchists or whatever, but they at the same time they totally suck from everything that the civilized government, society, whatever is provided. I'm just trying to be honest about it, But this always kind of cracked me up. There's a line from a Dead Kennedy song, something like, I try to stop the system, but my amp needs electric power, something like that.
Right.
But anyway, to answer your question about the new album, gosh, what's really funny is it's all over the place. When we were putting together the track listing, this was actually kind of a problem for us recently because usually we try to have the songs kind of go together in some sort of order that makes sense to us. And we really couldn't because it's just all over the place. It's got some of the really, like, funny songs on there. There's a song called Kathy Got a VD and song Little Chinese Man, which is just a total joke. It's, hilarious song.
Yeah,
but,
we'll be playing that at the end of the show.
Yeah, but then there's some serious stuff, too. I mean, the title of the album is One Nation Under Nothing, which is just kind of like just saying, like, what's going on right now, with everything in our country, and it seems like everything's kind of falling apart, and at the same time, it's like you wonder if it's all planned that way, is there some bigger scheme going on if you're into conspiracy theory stuff, and so yeah, it does touch on political stuff like that, but not really. We've never really come out and been like any one way politically. If anything, we kind of were more interested, or at least lyrically, I'm more interested in like social type attitudes of people, and I'd rather just make people think themselves instead of coming right out and saying, hey, you shouldn't like this political candidate or you shouldn't like that political candidate. I think when you do that, a lot of people are just turned off. If you already support that person or whatever, you're just going to go, I'm not going to listen to this band. On the other hand, if the way I prefer to come at it is talking more about the actual issues involved and saying, trying to get people to think about it from that perspective, and that's the way I think you really change minds, is just to get people to think about the core issues and not the politics of what party are you going to vote for or something like that.
Has it become harder or easier for you to write with everything that's going on? Is there more of a pool to pull from with so much just insanity going on? With the 24-hour news media feed, conspiracy theories, I mean, Washington's out of hand. Is that making it easier for you to write, or is it kind of like stifling you because it's overload?
No, I'd say it probably makes it easier, but like I said, that particular song is it's really broad in general. It doesn't talk about any one specific thing. That song, it's kind of like the big picture, like what's going on. It's One Nation Under Nothing. The title actually came from it's kind of interesting. I was walking through a parking lot, and I saw a sticker on the back of a car that at one time had said One Nation, and it had a line on top of it, and it said God on top. So it's like One Nation Under God, But the rain and the weather and everything had like from the, just weathered it out, and it was the God part was totally erased. So it said One Nation Under Nothing. And I just thought, wow, that's kind of, I don't know, it just seemed like
cool. It is an ominous
prophetic message or something. Yeah, ominous. Yeah, I was like, whoa, One Nation Under Nothing. Like, do we have any direction at all? Like, what's going on here?
Really
nice.
I mean,
really
I'm trying to think of some of the songs as far as what the subject matter is. Let's see. There's gosh, I probably shouldn't say what some of the stuff's about. Let's see. Well, the first track, Primates, is actually kind of the same thing too, but from a little different angle. That one was actually started. The idea was started by Binky the Elf, one of our original guitarists, who is no longer in the band. But at the time, that shows you how long we've been working on this album. He left the band a long time ago, and but the first couple lines of that were his. He said, "I feel like Jane Goodall observing all the monkeys in a concrete jungle where only trees are caged." And
I like that.
and I just kind of took it from there, and I said manipulate behaviors with a fistful of bananas or a handful of dollars, because it's pretty much the same. And the rest of the song is it's just saying, like, are we really, you know, some people believe in evolution, some people believe in God's creation, and I'd say it's a combination, but I'm not sure we've even evolved at all.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's kind of that's the lyric of the song, basically. So it's a lot of it's just kind of looking at, like, where we are at least as a country or as a planet or whatever, you know.
Are these songs all written fairly recently, or are these stretching back 10 years since your last album?
Yeah, well, like I said, I mean, like that one goes back to when Binky was still in the band, and so, yeah, that goes back pretty far. I mean, gosh, I don't know how many years. It's got to be at least, close to almost 10 years. Yeah, at least like 8 or 9 years, I'd say that one stretches back that far. And some of them are really recent. Like, we wrote some of the songs right before we went in the studio. The last 2 songs, like Dick Clark and One Nation Under Nothing, I brought those out, like, right at the 11 o'clock hour, you know, right.
Did you feel a lot of pressure to put out new lyrics, or was it just coming easy to you?
No, it was just an inspirational type thing. It just, we had a full album up to that point. Altogether, we're supposed to have like 15 tracks on this. So we could have had, 13-track album, but like those last 2, it was just an inspiration thing. I don't sit down and write music like, or write lyrics just like I'm going to write a song today. I can't do that. Everything just comes when it's ready. I don't ever put that pressure on. I've never had to, because we've never, like I said, we've always been at DIY. We haven't had a label saying you need an album by next week, you know.
Right.
Very organic. But maybe I think, yeah, and that might be something to do with why it comes out, I think good, is that there isn't that pressure just to throw something together and get some crappy lyrics down or whatever. It's I write when I feel it, when I feel something coming, I'll write a song. This one has a lot more music written by the rest of the band. I can tell you that's different. I wrote a few of the tracks just myself, but the early stuff I wrote a lot of it, and I don't know how to write music. I mean, but for punk rock, I guess it's good. People like it, but the rest of the guys they're way better at writing music than I am. So I was more than happy to step back and like, hey, go for it, and so they wrote a lot of the stuff. It's great stuff.
Do you guys have a release date yet?
Yeah, like a couple months ago.
Yeah, without the release date.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we've been having a big problem with this. We're supposed to get, this thing was supposed to be out in spring, and we finished recording it in October. We've been kind of fighting with, trying to track down the files that we need, because we had to send it to someone else for mixing. And we finally got them, all except for one, which was left off, so we're trying to get that missing file, which was actually CIA killed Dick Clark. But it's in the hands of Paul Miner, who's going to do the mixing right now. And, in fact, just today I got an email from him where he sent the first rough little mix to check out of what he's done. So now I just talked to Dr. Strange, and, I don't know when. He seems to be pretty open right now, so for releasing it. So I'd say hopefully, by fall,
Cool.
I think
Very
that would
cool.
give us enough time.
We'll stay on top of it. I know you guys, I guess, have a good relationship with the Addicts. I saw the Punk's Not Dead movie, and there seemed to be a lot of you and the Addicts in it. And I know you guys did a tour with them. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. They did a West Coast tour at one point, and we did a few of the dates on there. We didn't do the whole thing. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 shows or something like that. But that was really cool. They've always been one of my favorite bands. Them and the Toy Dolls are my 2 favorites. Anybody that knows me knows that's always been the case. So just to even get to play with them was a big deal. We played with them other times outside of that too, outside of the tour. We played at the Showcase and the House of Blues, and I don't know, maybe a couple other places in around California. We opened for them a few times, but when I was a kid, I never even thought I'd get to see them play live. I'd hear my sister's stories about how great they were, and I was really bummed because I thought I'd kind of missed the boat on that and would never get to see them. So so later, to get to play with them and kind of get to know them, and I got to record some backing vocals on one of their albums, the Roller Coaster album, just to hang out with them. I mean, as Jason, our guitarist, puts it, he says it was like my Make-A-Wish Foundation day for me.
Right.
It's like, what did I do to deserve this, getting to hang out with, if you can imagine, I don't know who your favorite band is, but, like, just picture, now I'm getting to hang out with them. It's, it's so cool. I know you said you're like a fanboy or whatever. I'm told I've got like shrines in my room. I've got a whole like attic section of the autograph record. And every time we play with one of these bands who are my heroes, I run up and get their autograph like a little girl going to the Beatles,
Right. Yeah, and I'm a total fanboy too. I'm the same way with bands I like. I met Agent Orange like 15 years ago at the Riverview in Virginia Beach, and I was like, hello, Mr. Orange, I'm Nick, hi. Yeah. I could barely get my friggin' words out of my mouth, and I was like, you guys influenced my band. We're even Steven. Oh, yeah, whatever, kid. Like throwing a jersey like the old Pepsi. All right, kid, here you go.
Yeah, there you go. Agent Orange too. Yeah, like we played with them too. I mean, it's like, and all these bands, it's like, that's one of the coolest things about being in this band is that I've got to meet my heroes, and they've all been really cool to me, every one of them. I haven't had a bad experience yet with any of these bands. They've all been super nice. I mean, I think the Addicts, I don't know if they just knew I was a big fan or what, but Pete from the Addicts was super cool to me and to invite me into the recording studio. And
wow.
yeah, I mean, that was so, I mean, I can only imagine that he just knew, I guess, that I was a huge fan and how important that would be to me. And that's all I can guess. I don't know, because I didn't really know him at that time. I'd sent him some stuff over the internet, some articles of theirs from England back in the day that I got from someone else, and that's kind of how I got in contact with them. He was like, where are you getting this stuff from, And next thing I knew, I was just kind of chatting with them online, and then got to record with them and toured with them and all that stuff, and got to, hang out at his house one time, or actually 2 times, and he taught me some stuff on Photoshop. He's a genius Photoshop guy.
Cool.
And then Jason puked in his rose garden.
Yep. The roses.
So now we're not invited back to the house anymore. That was the end of being invited over. Well, the funny thing about that was we had dinner. He had a special dinner thing before the tour, and so Jason, I guess, threw up in his flowers outside because he drank too much, and I didn't even know about it. And the next day, we're in San Diego, and he comes up to us, or comes up to me. He's like, "All right, which one of you lot puked all over me rose bushes?"
Oh no!
Classic.
And I looked at him like, I didn't know what he's talking about. I'm like, I don't know. And Jason was with me, and Jason goes, I don't know. So he walked away, and then Jason starts laughing. He's like, it was me.
Oh.
Like, I did it. And then so he found out later, and it's cool now. We had a laugh. We laughed about it, but that was pretty funny.
Well, yep. Definitely a fan. Like I said in the monologue, I'm wearing pants for this occasion, so high praise.
Oh yeah, by the way, you're wearing pants and I'm not. So there you go.
Oh,
hey,
well,
Steven, right?
Yeah, I totally misjudged it.
It's hot out here. It's hot out here in California.
Well, damn. Let me ask you, you guys have that sound out there, the Addicts, and you guys obviously, and then you've got the whole Epitaph Fat Records thing. Is there a division? Because I don't see a lot of, like, the Addicts with Lagwagon or, anything kind of like that. Is there a division between those kind of well-polished punk bands and what you guys do? Where you guys don't kind of mix well on a ticket, on a show? Or is it just
I'd say that, no, that's probably true. I think a lot of times those bands that you're talking about, like, the Epitaph bands or whatever, I think when they get a show together, it's kind of like their own little crew or whatever is who's going to play with them. That's kind of the way it is with us too. It's just like circles that don't mix, I guess. You don't really. I think a lot of our fans don't like that kind of music. The fans of the Addicts aren't really into that for the most part. I mean, there's always some, but that kind of stuff.
I mean, could you do a No Effects Narcoleptic Youth ticket and bring people to shows and have a good time? Or do you think it would just be mixing two styles that you would just have too much conflict? It wouldn't make sense to
You
do
know,
it.
honestly, I really don't know. I have no idea what would happen with that. Yeah, I really don't know. Lately, we've been getting on a lot of bills with some ska bands, which apparently is like really picking up out here. And that's, I know a lot of our fans aren't really into the ska thing, so they don't really turn out for that. It's way better if we have a lineup where we're playing with bands that are more along the lines of what we're doing, which I understand. You know, it's like I'd be the same way. I am the same way. You know, if I see a bill and it's like, well, I only want to see this band and I really don't like this other kind of music, I'm probably not going to show up, you know. Especially in
right. I always kind of thought the punk thing was to keep an open mind and expose yourself to new things. I mean, I like NoFX. I like you guys. I mean, I'm across the board. I mean, I listen to mainly punk, but I mean, I also have a broader horizon where I listen to other types of music too, obviously. Nobody's
yeah, that's
like,
true. I mean, and I definitely, I totally agree with the open mind thing. It's just like, but then again, you like what you like. You know, if there's, you know, maybe you don't like disco or whatever, so you know, you wouldn't show up if you really don't want to listen to disco for the first couple hours. You know,
right.
But I like diversity in the punk, but there's certain kinds of sounds that I'm into, and so yeah, I definitely like to see bands that are doing something different. I just am not really, for me personally, I'm not really turned on by the stuff that Epitaph and those labels are putting out, you know.
Gotcha. Okay, well,
you know.
We've got 8 minutes left. If we go a little bit over, that's fine. People can listen to the overture on the archives, but I do want to play your newest one before we get off live. I know you've got a couple stories to tell. I've been trying to save the Walmart story for last.
Oh, no. See, after this song, I want to hear about the lesbian clown.
Oh, wow. That's kind of a long story. Okay, it's kind of a long one. I'll try and do it as fast as I can.
Okay, we'll listen to this song, and then we'll hear about the lesbian clown. We
got a couple minutes. What can we do in 4 minutes?
The Walmart one is really short.
Okay, let's do the Walmart.
Can I do what? Right now?
Let's do the Walmart one. Can we do that in 4 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, real quick. All right, so I was coming back from a show. It's like 3 a.m. So I was probably playing in L.A. or something, and I'm driving down to San Diego, and I just realized, oh, man, I got to get groceries. And so there's a 24-hour Walmart off the 79 and exit in Temecula, and I go down there, and I'm going down the bread aisle, and I swear to you, they just finished, like, packing it because they're stocking the shelves. And I swear to you, I turn around, and a full loaf of bread shot out from the shelf, like 4 feet into the center of the aisle. Like somebody come up behind and just smack the crap out of it, and it just lands there in the center of the aisle. And
are you sure you won't
so
be in pump?
Well, I stood there like with my jaw dropped open. I'm like, what did I just see? You know, it didn't. I've seen things fall off shelves because of gravity, you know, or whatever. This was like someone smacked it hard, you know. So I go over and I picked it up and I'm looking at it. I wasn't scared. I was just bewildered. And there's no strings on it or anything. And I find the spot where it was. I slide it right back in there, nice and tight. And I'm looking behind there. And I thought maybe on the back side, maybe they pushed something in, you know, and there was a wall behind it.
Oh, geez.
Well, I think the real question is, why did you not buy this bread? Maybe it had magical powers.
I know. It should have been. I know. It was probably a sign. Yeah, it was probably some kind of a sign, but I should have bought it.
Maybe
so later, I came back around the aisle, and there was a lady there. She was like restocking the shelves because there was stuff on the floor, and I had to ask her. I said, "So, do you have many problems with the bread flying off the aisles here?" And I thought she was going to look at me like I was crazy, and she didn't bat an eye, and she just looked at me and she goes, "Oh yeah, all the time." She said, and then I have to put it back. And she was straight faced. And I said, well, here's what just happened. I said, I was coming down the aisle, I saw this loaf of bread shoot up. And she goes, oh yeah, you're not the first customer to tell me that. She said, it happens all the time. We think the place is haunted.
No way.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have took that bread home.
I know, yeah. And then she told me another story. She said there was a time when Southern California Edison was doing a scheduled power outage, so it's 24-hour Walmart, but they had to they closed it off to the public so they could stock the shelves with, you know, there's no lights on it or anything. They just had flashlights, and she said she could hear kids running up and down the aisles next to her laughing and giggling.
Oh,
wow.
No
I hope
way.
she's getting hazard pay.
Yeah, it's on a spot where there's like a historical building right next to it, and it's right by where the Butterfield stagecoach used to go through. There's a street called Butterfield, and a lot of Native American reservations out here and stuff.
Indian burial ground, the whole bit.
Yeah, or the pioneers or something. Yeah.
All right, well, we got 5 minutes live. I'm going to play Little Chinese Man. If you want to set this up for us, is this something that anybody in the public has heard yet, or is this an exclusive?
No, this is actually a debut, first-time world premiere debut, and a lot of our songs are based on true stories, but this one, and a lot of people find that hard to believe, but this one actually is not. This is completely made up out of my demented mind, and it mentions Morris Day and the Time in there for the old people.
Got you. Something for everybody. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sweetheart.
No, I'm play it already. Let's go.
All right, Little Chinese Man. Here we come. All right, good stuff. Little Chinese Man, you heard it here first. We got about a minute and a half. Are you able to stick around a few minutes after the show and tell another story, Joey?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, real quick before the audience disappears on us, if you want to give us the Punk Aid information again and all the websites to keep this all fresh in everybody's head.
Yeah, punkaid.org. It's $6, 117 killer punk bands. Yeah, definitely go get that. And then we've got our website, narcolepticyouth.com, facebook.com/narcolepticyouth. That should get you going right there.
All righty, sounds good. For everybody listening, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on the archive. We'll have a little bit of overtime on there with a couple more stories. And as always, thank you for checking out Wednesday Night Musical Osmosis on the Ignorance Equation. And we got 10 seconds left till we go off the air? All right, so, Danielle, I know you want to hear a lesbian clown story, right?
I do. I'm dying to hear anything about a lesbian clown. I think it's fabulous.
who doesn't like a good lesbian clown story, right? Okay,
Correct.
so
I don't want to meet the guy that does not like a good lesbian clown.
Exactly.
I do not want to meet that son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's something wrong if you don't like a good lesbian clown story, right? And especially if it's got Billy Idol in it. Okay, so this now, like I just said, that last song was completely made up. Little Chinese man buying a ticket to dance with this guy, and you're at Der Wiener Schnitzel, and he comes up, and that one's completely made up. Now, this next story I'm going to tell you, we turned into a song. A lot of people probably think it's totally made up because it's so bizarre and out there, but it's 100% true. We're supposed to play in Las Vegas, and like the day before, or maybe even that day, our drummer called us up and said he was really sick with like the major flu and couldn't do it, so we had to cancel out. And the rest of us were still pretty pumped to go. Binky, our old guitarist, and Jason and I, and we're like, well, let's just go out there anyway because we're all excited about going to Vegas. And so we were at Binky's apartment in Riverside, California, and we were sitting there, and he was playing video games, and Jason and I were sitting on a couch kind of right by the front door, and the front door was open, and Jason was playing the song White Wedding from Billy Idol.
Love the song.
Yeah, he's playing the intro to that on the acoustic guitar. And all of a sudden we look over at the door, and there's a clown standing there in full, the big rainbow wig and the big shoes and the whole outfit, makeup and everything. And Jason and I were just tripping out. We're like, oh, my God, we're going to die, like this is like a horror movie or something. Why is there a clown standing at the door? That's what happens next. An axe comes out and we all get chopped up. We're like, okay, what's going on? And the clown walks into the room, walks right past us, and goes over to Binky. And we later find out it was a lady at the time. You can't tell it's a clown. You don't know if it's a man or woman, but it was a lady who happened to be a lesbian. And anyway, but she hands him a cordless phone and a piece of paper with a phone number on it, and she goes, his name's Steve. He goes, Steve, I need you to call these people and tell them I can't come today because just tell them that my mother died. And she goes, that's not really what happened. She says, actually, my friend's son committed suicide, and I need to be there to be with her. But just tell them my mother died because they'll never believe the other story. Like, what? And so he's got this piece of paper and the phone, and he looks at her, and he's like, you always come over here, you tell me, you just don't want to go to work, you're an alcoholic, you just, you just want me to do your dirty work because you don't want to face up to the facts that, you can't handle your job and all this. And he goes, why can't you do something
for yourself? Isn't that always the way with lesbian clowns?
Yeah, exactly. I hate to stereotype them, but yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, you never, can't you do something for yourself for once in your life? And he like shoves the phone and the paper back in her face, and he goes, sack up and be a man. And so she stomps out of the room. Thanks a lot, Steve. She goes out of the room. And then Jason and I are looking at him going, what the hell just happened here, And it's just so bizarre. So it's like I was in a Salvador Dali painting or something,
Right.
And like, what's going on? And he's like, she's this alcoholic, lives down the hallway, and she's always trying to get out of work for this. She just wants to go drink or something. And we're like, okay, well, that's a little weird, Hey, it's Riverside. What can you say? So, yeah.
Here's the clown.
So that's the end of that part of the story. Now, that's a good enough story in itself, but it gets better. So we ended up going out to Vegas, and we're out in Vegas, and it was I don't know if you've heard of the punk rock bowling thing, but this was a long time ago, one of their earlier punk rock things. And we're in a bowling alley out there, and we run into this friend of ours named Brad, and he had this girl with him who he was kind of like trying to get rid of, I think, because he was like 3 times as old as she was, and she was kind of hanging around him. And so he just kind of like pawned her off on us, and he's like, oh, meet my friends Joey and Jason, and he walked away. So we were hanging out with this girl who was local from Vegas, and she was tripping out because she didn't know this was like the punk rock bowling weekend, and she's seeing like, oh, there's the guys from Bad Religion, and there's the guys from NoFX, and so she was totally in awe, But so we were hanging out with her, and then we were getting kind of bored, so we're like, well, we're going to go back to our motel, which was a really rotten place, had blood stains on the curtains and stuff. It's called the Golden Palm Motel, and like someone got shot there or something. It was pretty bad. So anyway, we said, hey, well, check it out. We're leaving. If you want to come hang out with us, you can, but we're going to take off. And she didn't know who we were, but she ends up going with us. And we could have been axe murderers ourselves, but so we're in the taxi cab going over to this motel, and Jason was in the back next to her because I think he's trying to get his groove on, and I was in the middle seat, and I turned around and I was telling her the story about what happened earlier. I said, so check this out. This is what happened today. I go, we were in Riverside before we left, and this clown showed up at the door, and I said Jason was playing the Billy Idol song White Wedding, and I said, the one that goes da na 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 na, and I swear to you, right when I said it, it came on the radio in the taxi.
Oh, no way!
Like note for note, just like I said it, and Jason and I were just staring at each other like, whoa, this is really weird, and she didn't get it because she was like too young to understand.
If you would have had the haunted bread with you, it would have been perfect.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that came much later. That was years later. But yeah. But we said, this song that's being played right now that hasn't been played in like 10 years and just happened to come on right when I'm telling the story, So I ended up writing a song about the whole incident, and when we went to record it, the story continues. We go to the recording studio, and when we opened up the door of the recording studio, the first thing I saw when I opened the door is a giant poster of Billy Idol.
No way.
Yeah. And I go, Jason, you're not going to believe this. I go, check this out. He comes around the corner. He's like, whoa. So we go in the studio, and it turns out.
With that riff?
No, it doesn't. No, but we're in the studio, and there's pictures of Billy Idol all over the studio. And apparently he had recorded with the same engineer that owned the place or something like that. There's all these, gold album, platinum albums, and all the pictures of him behind the mixing board and all this stuff. And so anyway, that was really weird. And then on this EP that we did, it's on the song is called Black 11. It's on a CD we did called Something Old, Something New, Something Borrowed. And anyway, one of the songs we did, one of the borrowed songs we did was Bullet by the Misfits. And so when I was in the vocal booth doing that track, the song is about the Kennedy assassination, right? And I look over on the wall, and there's a picture of JFK in the car in Dallas, like right before he was shot.
Oh, wild.
And here's the end of the story. When it was all said and done, the final master of this album was done by East Bay Ray of the Dead Kennedys. So there you go.
Full circle.
Wow.
You know what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
I'm hearing a Narcoleptic, Dead Kennedys, Billy Idol with lesbian clowns in the audience.
That's genius.
And
and free bread.
Yeah,
and free
bread. Free bread.
And tuna fish sandwiches made on haunted Walmart bread. That was bring about the
haunted Walmart bread.
And
it's
now
the haunted Walmart bread tour.
Yes,
that's genius.
Definitely.
Yeah. There you go.
Let's get to work on that.
But it's 100. I couldn't make that story up. It's 100% true. God,
that
the
is
best
wild.
ones always are. You got
I've got
time
a great
for one more
imagination.
story?
I mean, what's that?
You got time for one more story? I know you got a Dropkick Murphy story at the Excalibur, too, you wanted to do.
Oh, another Vegas story. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, that one, it wasn't really about them, but yeah, we did a night with them and the business in Corona at the showcase, and then the second night was supposed to be in Las Vegas, or Henderson, which is right next to Las Vegas. Anyway, so we get out there, and we're setting up, and there was like hardly anybody there. They ended up not showing, and we were getting heckled the whole time, which is kind of funny because, like, in your intro you said this was before the time of MySpace and, music downloads and all this.
Wow.
The people there had never heard us, I guarantee, and they were saying, like, you guys suck, go back to California. and they'd never even heard us. We hadn't even started playing yet. And so we were kind of like, we were kind of, and they were all hiding in the shadows in the back of the club. There's only like 10 people there, and they were all like talking smack about us because we were from California. I guess they have a problem with that, but anyway, you sound like Green Day. Like, okay, whatever. So we started kind of heckling them back. We'd play some covers like The Damned or The Addicts, and I knew these guys didn't know anything about punk. They kept calling for saying, we want the Dropkick Murphys, and they had no idea who the business was. And so we'd play like Neat by the Dam, and I'm like, okay, can any of you tell me who wrote this song, and just kind of coming back at them because they were so punk rock, but they didn't know any of that stuff. So anyway, we had to get out of there as soon as we were done because we found out that the business and Dropkick Murphys didn't even show up. And so that was kind of the last thing we said was like, hey, guess what? Joke's on you because, we were your entertainment for tonight. The other two bands couldn't even find this place on this podunk one-horse town, and they're not even here, so have fun getting your money back, So we went out, we grabbed the vodka from the writer contracts for the business or whatever, and we took off to Vegas. So we're in Vegas, and we're in Excalibur, and we're just minding our own business, really. We were, goofing around, but we weren't hurting anybody. And these two preppy guys come walking by and said something to our old bass player, Pep, about his leather jacket. He's got, punk rocker spiked leather jacket with stuff painted on it, and hey, nice jacket, faggot, or something like that. And he just ignored them because we weren't looking for trouble, and they just went on their way. Then these guys came back by again, and they said the same thing again. So finally he said something back, to one of them about his suede jacket. Yeah, nice jacket, bad guy, just fag, or something, And so there's a little confrontation with words there. Well, these guys, these two preppy dudes, they must have thought there was only 2 or 3 of us standing there because they couldn't see around the corner. There were a couple other guys with us who 3 of them happened to be skinheads from this group that's not Nazi skinheads, but just traditional skinheads.
Right.
But they like to fight. So anyway, these guys that were with us didn't even they didn't know how big these guys were. They could have been 6'5" NFL linebackers for all they knew. They didn't care. They just heard there was a confrontation. They were like, all right, let's go. So these 3 guys come flying around the corner and running full speed, and they jump up in the air, and they're doing karate kicks on these 2 preppy guys. and we're just standing there this all happened so fast. The rest of us just had our mouths open what's going on, And next thing you know, there's this big brawl in Excalibur, and these guys are just punching them out and just wailing on these 2 preppy guys. And then at one point, this giant gumball machine full of gumballs gets knocked over, crashes, gumballs go all over the floor, and these guys are still going at it. The lady in the little trinket shop down the way.
Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
Oh yeah,
or what's straight out of that kind of movie, or Suburbia, or something.
Yeah, or that movie Hangover. It's what's going on? And so the lady in the little trinket shop, it's 3 a.m. She's like, boys, stop it, And then one of them threw one of the guys into this, one of those knights in armor, that they have, just standing there. That thing hit a glass wall, totally shattered. This whole glass wall comes flying down, just shatters into pieces. Okay, so we're thinking, okay, there's cameras everywhere. We're we got to get out of here, And so we're just kind of watching this whole thing, going, what's going on? And our buddy, our roadie Mike, he starts checking they had these, in the hallway, they had these fake doors, facade doors, just you can't open them. It's just a door handle, and it looks like a door. And he's going through and he's trying all these door knobs. And all of a sudden, he finds one that opens. It was a real door. And he's like, come on. So we go into the door. We don't know. We're inside the hotel. We don't know where we are. We go down on this hallway, open up another door. We're in the kitchen of the Excalibur Hotel. There's 5 punk rockers in the kitchen of the Excalibur Hotel. And we go, we see the guys behind there. Luckily, I don't know if it was me or my buddy Michael. I spoke a little Spanish. We're like, "Don't de está el casino," They pointed to the exit, So we're running through the kitchen, and then we got out, and I guess the other guys that were in the fight, somehow they got off. I don't know. They didn't do anything to them, but it was totally like that story from the Dead Kennedys and Give Me Convenience or Give Me Death, where the guys are throwing rocks at Jello, and at the end they're they're apologizing to the guy that was throwing rocks, the cops are, and it was kind of like that. They're the hotel was would you like us to comp your rooms to these 2 preppy guys, we're so sorry you had to deal with these hooligans, and we weren't looking for any trouble at all. They totally started the whole thing. But anyway, so we're outside, and we kind of got lost from each other, and so we figured out somebody went inside the hotel, and we started calling each other on the intercom system, paging each other with our names, Johnny Cat Scabies, your party is looking for you at the front desk. Dinky the Yell, if you're wanted at the front door. So that's how we got back together. And so anyway, that was the end of that. But another fun night in Vegas.
Last time I was in Vegas, a girl fell down the escalator, pissed drunk, and, like, laid on the floor, like, And I'm like, you know, when you watch Casino, if you get out of fucking, like, if you take an extra roll from the buffet, Robert fucking De Niro buries you in the desert. But every time I've been in a casino, it's like pandemonium. You can do whatever the hell you want. There's no security at all. I think that's
I don't know how
example of that.
Yeah. Well, it was really late at this time. I mean, it was pretty empty. The shops basically closed except for the one. But I don't know. It was a crazy night.
All right,
another wild Vegas story.
I want to thank you for coming on. We are going way into overtime. Like I said, I want to thank you for coming on. I hope you'll come back when the album's released.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just you got my number.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we'll play some more new stuff. I'm going to play one more song going out. I will let you pick. I wanted to play either Dear John or Cocktail Sword. Your choice.
Oh, gosh. You know what? Speaking of Vegas, let's do Cocktail Sword because that song was actually, I started writing that song on a Vegas trip.
Right on. Alrighty. This is Nick, the Saucy One Catsaurus. This has been Wednesday Night Musical Osmosis. I do want to thank my guest tonight, Joey Bondage from Narcoleptic Youth. It has been a joy, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on. I will definitely try to get the word out about Punk Aid and pick up one of the albums myself.
Right on. Thank you.
All righty, here comes Cocktail Sword. I want to thank you guys, and you guys have a good night.